Welcome to this program, On the Other Hand. I'm your host, Charlie McKinney. Charlie.
And I'm your co-host, Linda Frazier. Linda. In this program, we will cover how to more effectively rephrase your PSE sentences so that your meaning will be clear to deaf people. One form of English that is difficult for some deaf people to comprehend is use of the passive voice.
Yes, even those words, passive voice, if you use the sign voice, that will make no sense to deaf people. Using the sign voice makes deaf people think you're talking about vocal pronunciations. To them, a voice is either on or off, loud or soft. How can it be passive? Rather, passive voice means the way you phrase your English sentences.
Let's first compare passive voice to active voice in English. Active voice means the verb form shows the subject doing the action, such as Lou threw the ball. To make that sentence passive voice, we change the form of the verb to show that the subject receives the action instead of the object. Our example sentence in passive voice is, the ball was thrown by Lou. Notice, a form of the verb to be is necessary, but ASL does not have the to be verb.
We can sign that concept in active voice. Like the English sentence, Lou threw the ball. However, ASL has no passive voice. In the sentence, the ball was thrown by Lou, if we sign ball throw Lou, a deaf person would be confused because the person doing the action should always be signed first in the sentence. The only two ways to sign that concept in sign language are Lou throw ball and ball Lou throw. Those two ways are fine.
We will cover more about passive voice later in the program. We'll also learn more signs for time and some interesting facts about the deaf community. Let's start now by looking at the Classifier 1.
The Classifier 1 is used to represent a person's location or movement. Run away. Catch. Now we'll show movement between two people using Classifier 1. Meet each other. Walking side by side.
We need to be planning our end of the year party. Let's not forget to invite Mr. Kemper. I guess we have to invite the boys too.
Yeah, but all the boys want to do is eat. Since Mr. Kemper is our English teacher, we should try to play English word games or have a spelling bee.
The spelling bee is a good idea. And you're right about the boys. I had a party a long time ago, and the boys stood around the food table and ate and ate and ate.
Well, this time, we'll just have to keep the boys busy. Let's plan the party.
Okay. First, we'll plan the games, then the food. Let's invent a game where we use English words. Or we could play charades.
I just thought of a good game we could play. Suppose two people write down as many words as they can describing something. Then they read off the words and everybody else tries to guess what they are describing.
That's a good idea, but we'd better put a time limit on this game, or it could take too long.
I can use my watch to keep time for everyone. They can have 2 minutes to write down their list, and everyone else has 3 minutes to guess what those two are describing.
Perfect. That's only 5 minutes per couple. Playing this game should not take more than 1 hour. Then we can open presents.
Today I'm going with my mom to buy the present. Do you still like the idea of buying him a clock for his desk?
Yeah, it's something I've heard him say he really needs.
I agree. I think he will like a desk clock. Now it's time to discuss food. If we save the food for last, the boys will have to play the games if they want to eat.
The food can be the third and final thing we do at the party.
What time of day should we have the party?
Let's have it early afternoon, because it should only last a couple of hours.
With the boys coming, our food wouldn't last more than a couple hours anyway.
In this last scene, you saw many signs dealing with time. We'll review some of the signs. Copy the sign the first time you see it, then try and sign it yourself.
Clock. Clock.
Minute. Minute.
Hour. Hour.
Last as in continue. Last as in continue.
Third. Third.
Today. Today.
Some verbs in sign language are formed only one way, such as remember. We cannot sign he remembers my name, forming remember from his direction. However, other verbs can be formed to show who is doing the action as opposed to who is receiving the action. These verbs are called directional verbs. One common directional verb is give, meaning giving as a gift. I give to you. You give to me. He gives to her. She gives to everyone. The word send. I will send it to you, and when you finish, you send it to me. I sent it to each one. Yesterday, he sent it out to everyone. The word show. Show me, show her, show everyone. Ask a question. Before, I asked them questions. He kept asking me and asking me and asking me. These are just a few directional signs. Did you notice when I mean to do something to each person in a group, I repeat the sign? Like inform. Inform each person. And when I mean everyone, the verb is in an arc. I inform everyone. The beauty of directional verbs in sign language is that you can communicate more in a short amount of time than you can with words. For example, the two of them handed each other their books is signed books handed to each other. One more note using space and direction with verbs. Some verbs that are typically signed near the body can be signed in the direction of another person or animal to indicate a command. Watch these examples. I told the dog to stay. Work at that until you're finished. Finish what you're doing. I told him to stop.